Good evening, everyone. Today I'm going to tell you about how we can grow orchids in Delhi. And when one thinks of orchids, one normally thinks of Hawaii or Thailand or Kerala or Goa, beachy places with very high humidity. But Delhi and orchids don't seem to go together. But you will be pleasantly surprised to know that some varieties of orchids are doing quite well here in Delhi. And today I'm going to be telling you which are the ones that really do well here. In fact, I've been experimenting with orchids for the last 4 years now. And I have had some good experiences, some bad, and I'm here to share all of those with you. So the orchids that you see in this slide, the first, the second, this first one, the second one, and the third one, these are from my garden, and these are three different types of orchids that grow here. This is another family called the Cattleya. This is Phalaenopsis. These are dendrobiums. So these are the orchids that are doing really well here in Delhi, and I'll tell you how. Now, first, I will begin with how my love affair began with orchids. You know, it all started about 4 years ago when I visited a friend's terrace, my friend Urmila, and on her terrace she was growing orchids on the bark of the champa tree. Her helper lived in Assam, and she would get these orchids from there when she would come back from chutti. And she used to tell Urmila to mount them on the bark of the tree. She said, "हमारे गांव में तो ऐसे ही ये पेड़ों पे उगते हैं." And then she put these in moss. She wrapped them in moss and she hung them on the bark of the champa tree with simply tied with a rope. And when I saw these, you know, they were not only thriving there, they were blooming and they caught my fancy. And I asked her what special care she took of them, and she said nothing, the mali just waters them, he just sprays water and that's about it. And you know, I was so fascinated by these plants because we are all avid gardeners and we've been growing for years. We've been growing our plants in soil and khad and compost and all these things. And now seeing a plant which was just hanging there in the air, wrapped in moss and tied on a tree and blooming. So, you know, I had to delve deeper to find out the mystery behind this. And so I began my research. And let me warn you, there is something called the orchid fever. It is like you are smitten by them. Once you've grown them successfully, once they bloomed for you, you are hooked for life. And you know, this is what I got infected with the orchid fever. I began collecting different varieties and then all the different colors of those varieties from Kalimpong, from Thailand, and it just goes on. It's a passion. Now, currently blooming. This is the picture from my last workshop, but to just show you that they do really well here in Delhi. Uh, Maybe at the end. Okay, I don't think I can show you this right now. So these are the ones that are blooming right now. This variety is called the Dendrobium phalaenopsis, and they are such mesmerizing plants. Even you must have bought these once or twice from the florist shop, and you must have seen that these flowers really last a very long time. तो पानी में जब ये इतने दिन चलते हैं तो आप इमेजिन करें कि आप पॉट में लगभग 1.5 महीना इसका एक फूल का जो इसको स्पाइक कहते हैं जिस पे बड्स आती हैं इसे स्पाइक कहते हैं 15-20 दिन में ये स्पाइक खुलती हैं बड्स और फिर द फ्लावर्स लास्ट फॉर अबाउट 1.5 months or so. So they are a sheer delight. They are just such mesmerizing plants that you really need to know how to grow them. Now, before I go on to telling you about how to grow orchids, I have to share some fun facts about these fascinating plants. Now, the vanilla ice cream that you've had, or the vanilla essence that you've used in your cookies or your cakes, actually comes from an orchid, which is called the vanilla plenifolia, as you can see in the picture. This is the vanilla flower that just blooms for a day and then it is hand pollinated and then you get these these pods, and these pods are then cured and these are dried, harvested and dried, and then you get the vanilla essence from them. So I thought I should share these fun facts about these beautiful plants. Then there are about 30,000 varieties of orchids, and I'm not talking about the 1 lakh hybrids that there are that have been, and there are still more being discovered. Then the blooms last, as I said, for about 2 months. The least is like most some of the varieties, the blooms last for about almost 2.5 months. Then the canes of certain orchids are used to make pocketbooks in Malaysia. And they say orchids are very easy to grow. They're the easiest to grow, they're the hardest to kill. So the lifespan, if you properly take care of an orchid, it could last you for about 50 years. So I'm sure my orchids are going to last they're going to outlive me. And then one more interesting fact about them is that they have unique fragrances. Now the picture that you see here in this slide is of an orchid that grew in my garden and that bloomed in the month of March in 2020. This is called the coconut orchid, and it had the divine fragrance of coconut and vanilla. So there are various other orchids which have these beautiful fragrances of vanilla, chocolate, cinnamon. They have citrusy fragrances, coconut, hyacinth, and roses, and it just goes on. So it's a whole beautiful world out there, and you just need to explore these. Now, in addition to this, there is another very amazing fact about them that their flowers in some of the orchids are very uniquely shaped. And these are just about six of them that you see here, just six of them. There are so many. I was, totally floored and by the different shapes of these orchid flowers. The first one that you see is a monkey-shaped orchid, monkey shaped flower. Then the second one has a dove inside the flower. It's a dove orchid. The third one is a white egret orchid. So this is in the shape of an egret, which is like a crane. Then there is the lady slipper orchid, which looks like a dainty slipper of a lady. And then this is the dancing lady orchid, an oncidium. This is the dancing lady. It looks like a lady that's dancing. And then you have the flying duck orchid. So these are just six of them. There are so many out there. Just go out and explore. And it's a very beautiful, fascinating world of orchids. Now, coming to how we can grow orchids. Now, orchids grow in deserts, they grow in the cold mountainous regions, and they grow in the tropical rainforest. Now, the ones that grow in the deserts and the cold mountainous regions are not suited for Delhi. So, the ones that we are going to grow are the ones that grow in the tropical rainforest. Now, if you look at the picture here, the tropical rainforest will have a huge canopy of trees, as you can see in the picture, and the plants below will get only filtered sunlight. They will not get direct sunlight. The light is filtered through through the branches of the trees, and so orchids grow on the barks of these trees, or there are ground orchids that grow in the soil. So all these orchids get filtered sunlight. Then there is heavy rainfall in the rainforest, obviously, and then there is, because of the rainfall, high humidity, and the temperatures are quite high in the tropical rainforest. So, in order to be able to grow orchids in our homes here in Delhi, we have to replicate these conditions, which is not very difficult, as I will show you. Now, the second thing we need to know, which I will simply tell you, there are two types of orchids. One are the epiphytes, and the second type is the ground orchid. Now, the ones that you see in the picture are epiphytes. Now, epiphyte is a Greek word. Epi means upon, and phyte comes from the word phyton. So, a plant that grows on other plants is an epiphyte. Now, mind you, they're not parasites. They just hang on to, as you can see in the first picture, the cattleya. Here, the cattleya plant, the orchid is just holding onto the tree. It is holding the bark of the tree with its roots, but it is not taking nutrition from the host plant. So it is an epiphyte, and they grow on barks of trees in the rainforest. And what is by some mysterious magical trait, they take their nutrition from the air. Now, the rain water carries with it dead and decaying organic matter that's washed down by the rains upon these orchids, and so they get their nutrition from the rainwater. They get their carbon dioxide from the surrounding environment, surrounding habitat. They get all these things from their surroundings, and they thrive in the tropical rainforest. Now, I have tried to imitate this in the second picture that you see. This is the Dendrobium jenkinsi. It's a very cute miniature orchid which bears yellow bunches of yellow flowers in the month of March. And then there is this third one that bears, this is called the Dendrobium crepidatum, which again is I have mounted these two, trying to imitate The tropical rainforest, I have mounted these two on logs, and believe me, they're doing extremely well. So this is one way of growing them. So these are the epiphytes, and the second type is the ground orchid. Now, the ground orchid, as the name suggests, they grow in the ground. They grow in soil. So these are like a little bit similar to our other common plants, the ones that we normally grow. And they grow in a mixture of soil, humus, patti khad, leaf mold, or compost. And it has to be a very well draining mixture, and so the water seeps through, it doesn't stay, those roots don't hold the water because that will kill the plant. And the good news is that these are easily available at the Garden of Five Senses. When we have this mela in the month of February, January, and that the mela that we have, there are sellers from Kalimpong who come, and these you get at a very good price, 200, 250. You get these ground orchids there. And these are very hardy plants. The foliage is beautiful. They have luscious green big leaves, and these are also easy to grow. Now, requirements. This is all that you need. You need a plastic pot, and mind you, please don't buy too big. The pot shouldn't be too big for these orchids, because uh, for a medium size orchid, you will a 4 inch or a 5 inch pot is good enough, because the bigger the pot is, the more potting media it will hold, and then it'll retain more moisture, more water, and so that can lead to killing the plant. So as you see in the picture, you can take a plastic pot, is good for them, and you can even drill holes at the bottom of the plastic pot, or you can take a terracotta pot and drill holes at the bottom, because they grow on trees. So as I said, ground orchids you can grow in soil in the terracotta pots, but this is for the epiphytic uh, orchids, the ones that either you can plant on the bark, or you can grow them in pots. So the first picture that you see is the plastic pot. You can take the pot with holes. Then the potting media is different for epiphytic orchids. You will need cocoa chips. You can easily order these online, and there is इवन द कोकोनट हस्क जो आप नारियल खरीदते हो, उसकी जो हस्क होती है, उसको भी आप ड्राई करके सोलराइज करके यू कैन कट इट इनटू लिटिल ब्लॉक्स एंड यू कैन यूज दोज एज योर पॉटिंग मीडियम एज वेल. एंड विद कोको चिप्स यू विल नीड चारकोल, जो कच्चा कोयला होता है. Break it into small pieces, and this is for absorption of excess water and fertilizer. आपका चारकोल जो है सब फंगस नहीं लगने देता कोको चिप्स में, और ये एक्सेस वाटर और ये सब अब्जॉर्ब कर लेता है. देन यू विल नीड अ फ्यू ब्रिक पीसेस, या फिर मैं अपने टेराकोटा जो पॉट्स टूटते हैं उनके छोटे छोटे पीसेस करके रख लेती हूँ, and those I use as the potting medium. I'll tell you how to use it. And I always save my chopsticks, and these are used as stake with a little clip. You can to keep your plant upright. You have to use chopsticks, and you will need a 1 liter or a 1.5 2 liter spray bottle to spray your orchid with fertilizer. And the most important thing is fertilizing your orchid, क्योंकि हमने देखा रेन फॉरेस्ट में तो नेचुरली उसको न्यूट्रिएंट्स इतने ज्यादा मिलते रहते हैं, रोज बारिश आती है वहां, so the organic matter is washed down upon them, and so they do normally they naturally do well there, but here in our homes we'll have to fertilize the orchids. And now how to pot your orchid. आप अपना pot ले लें, टेराकोटा या प्लास्टिक या कोई भी, ड्रेनेज होल्स को कवर नहीं करेंगे आप, और 2:1:1 की रेशियो में कोको चिप्स 2 parts, 1 part चारकोल एंड 1 part योर टेराकोटा ब्रोकन पीसेस, आप अच्छे से मिला लें, अपने पॉट में डाल दें, एंड स्टिक योर ऑर्किड इनटू इट, एंड चॉपस्टिक के साथ उसको सीधा खड़ा कर देंगे आप, और क्लिप से उसे सपोर्ट करेंगे, and that is about it. So this is how you can plant your orchid. Now, once you've planted your orchid, this is how you can get started. These are the things that you need to be careful about. The only way you will kill your orchid is by overwatering. So you have to be careful about watering your orchid. The uh, you can figure out how much to water. जैसे winters में, actually orchids hate wet feed. They hate soggy feed. So their roots have to be dry. Let them dry out between waterings. तो winters में आपका natural instinct जैसे बताता है, अगर potting media wet है, then don't water the plant. And in winters, you can water it just twice a week. And you can also tell by sticking your finger into the pot, and you will see if it feels moist, don't water, and if it feels dry, then water. Also learn to tell by the weight of the pot. You can pick up the pot and see if it feels heavy, don't water, and if it feels light, then water. And if there is a doubt, in case of a doubt, don't water, because you will not kill your orchid by underwatering, but you might kill it by overwatering. So water is the only thing that you need to be very careful about. और जैसे कि मैंने बताया, सनलाइट, ट्रॉपिकल रेन फॉरेस्ट में इनको फिल्टर्ड सनलाइट मिलती है थ्रू द शेड, थ्रू द कैनोपी दे गेट दिस फिल्टर्ड सनलाइट. सो हम अपने घरों में, मैंने अपने ऑर्किड्स जो छत पे लगाए हैं, मैंने उनको ग्रीन नेट के नीचे लगाया. और जिनके पास ग्रीन नेट नहीं है तो वो पेड़ों के नीचे उनको टांग सकते हैं, वो बहुत अच्छे चलते हैं. एंड माई ऑर्किड्स दैट आर हंग have done the best because they are growing like they naturally grow in the tropical rainforest. तो आप उनको पेड़ के नीचे टांगे और उनको डायरेक्ट सनलाइट कभी ना दें. मॉर्निंग सन फिर भी उनके लिए ठीक है, 9-10 बजे 11 बजे तक वाला सन इसके लिए ठीक है. और यू कैन इजिली टेल, in the perfect sunlight they will be light green in color, the leaves will be leathery light green in color. और अगर sunlight ज़्यादा होगी तो आप burnt spots भी उस पे देख सकेंगे, so you have to immediately move your orchid from there. Then ventilation, as I told you, that they grow on barks of trees, so you have to be very careful about the ventilation. As I said, do not cover the drainage holes. एंड दूसरी बात यह है कि आप पॉट के नीचे होल्स कर सकते हैं ताकि रूट्स को हवा लगती रहे जैसे वो नेचुरली ग्रो करते हैं. और आप उनको हैंग भी कर सकते हैं, कहीं पेड़ों में हैंग कर सकते हैं, बाक्स पे हैंग कर सकते हैं, मॉस में डाल के जूट के साथ हैंग कर सकते हैं. इवन देन दे डू वेल, द रूट्स गेट अ लॉट ऑफ गुड एयर. वार्मथ, जैसे कि हमने देखा वो ट्रॉपिकल रेन फॉरेस्ट से हैं, तो दे अप्रिशिएट वार्मथ इन योर हाउस. द वार्मेस्ट कॉर्नर ऑफ योर बैल्कनी और द वार्मेस्ट कॉर्नर ऑफ योर टेरेस विल बी द बेस्ट सूटेड फॉर योर ऑर्किड्स. और सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट है फर्टिलाइजर, क्योंकि ट्रॉपिकल रेन फॉरेस्ट में नेचुरली उनको इतना फर्टिलाइजर मिलता रहता है, तो हमें अपने घरों में इन्हें, एक इसका मंत्र है, वीकली वीकली a week dose of fertilizer every week. So for me, NPK, नाइट्रोजन फॉस्फोरस एंड पोटेशियम का जो 19-19-19 वाला मिक्स आता है, या 20-20-20 वाला भी आपको एनपीके मिलता है, दीज आर प्रिटी गुड. You have to fertilize them every week. A week dose will be a pinch of NPK mixed in or dissolved in 1 liter of water and sprayed thoroughly over the entire plant. Will really help your orchids to be healthy and bloom well. लेकिन आपने एक ख्याल रखना है कि जब ये ग्रोइंग पीरियड में होते हैं तभी इनको फर्टिलाइजर वीकली वीकली देना है. आप फोर्टनाइटली भी दे सकते हैं, पर जैसे विंटर मंथ्स आते हैं और आपको लगता है कि विंटर में कई ऑर्किड्स डोरमेंट हो जाते हैं, तो आप चाहे तो आपको ये ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा कि विंटर मंथ्स में आपको इनको फर्टिलाइज कम करना होगा, या आप वंस अ मंथ ही करें. और अगर बिल्कुल ही लीव्स गिर चुके हैं तो फर्टिलाइज करने की जरूरत नहीं है, उन्हें रेस्ट करने दें, क्योंकि आप रेस्ट करने देंगे तभी उसमें ब्लूम्स अच्छे आएंगे फिर फरवरी मार्च में. और एक और इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है ह्यूमिडिटी. अब दिल्ली में ह्यूमिडिटी नहीं है जैसे कि गोवा में या केरला में हो गया जहाँ नेचुरली ये थ्राइव करेंगे. So for that, I mean, throughout the year, I don't have a problem with the orchids, but it's only the months of May and June when it's like so hot, about 49-50 degrees तक temperature चला जाता है, and everything is like scorched and charred. Then you need to take care of your orchids because the air is totally dry. तो उसमें आप तीन चीजें कर सकते हैं. एक तो आप नॉर्मली पानी डालते ही हैं अपने पौधों में, तो आप शाम को एक बार और ऑर्किड्स पे स्प्रे कर दें. दूसरा तरीका है कि आप ऐसे जैसे आप पिक्चर में देख रहे हैं, ये ह्यूमिडिटी ट्रे बना सकते हैं. ये जो आप पॉट्स के नीचे ट्रे रखते हैं उसमें थोड़े से पेबल्स या स्टोन्स डाल के यू कैन पुट अ लिटिल वाटर ऑन इट, बस उतना ही पानी जितने में पेबल्स सबमर्ज हो. उससे ज्यादा होगा तो रूट्स में चला जाएगा पानी और रूट रॉट हो सकता है. तो पानी में पेबल्स सबमर्ज हो और वो हर रोज उड़ जाता है, पानी इवेपोरेट हो जाता है, सो दैट कीप्स द orchids happy and hydrated. And then the third is like my favorite method is fountains. because that's like if you don't have time to put water every day, if you don't have time to spray every day, then this is like the hands-free approach. You can run the fountain in the morning around 9 o'clock. मैं 9-10 बजे मई जून के महीने में 9-10 बजे फाउंटेन चला देती हूँ और सारे ऑर्किड्स उसके आसपास रख देती हूँ और ये लगभग 5 बजे तक चलता रहता है तो उसकी मिस्ट जो क्रिएट होती है और उससे जो पानी इवेपोरेट होता है they stay quite happy and I've not had a problem. I mean, I didn't have to use any misters or any humidifiers since the last 4 years. I've been growing them and I have not had a problem in the summer months because of just taking care of the humidity part. Then winter care में एक और चीज मैं बताना चाहूंगी जैसे मैंने कहा कि विंटर में ये डॉर्मेंट हो जाते हैं तो आपको इनको पानी बहुत कम डालना है हफ्ते में 1 या 2 बार या जस्ट टू कीप देम अलाइव नाउ last year I did not take in last year December I did not take care of this and you know what I got these keikis. Now keikis are baby orchids and when you overwater them that's the result of your overwatering and so it produced these baby orchids but I did not get any blooms that year. So you have to be careful if you overwater you will get baby orchids and not blooms. Okay, so now I will share with you the orchids that have done well with me. The first one is ye Dendrobium. Dendrobium is the name of the family, the genus. So Dendrobiums are called beginners orchids. And anybody who's beginning to grow orchids, these are excellent for them because they're very hardy, they're very easy to grow. आप neglect भी कर दोगे तो भी ये बहुत अच्छा चलेंगे. ये first वाला जो आप देख रहे हैं, ये नोबिले ये हाइब्रिड है और ये इसी मार्च में मेरे फूल इसमें आए थे ये मेरे गार्डन से सारी पिक्चर्स ये डेंड्रोबियम ए फाइलम है ये पिछले 3-4 साल से लगातार ब्लूम कर रहा है हर बार ये फरवरी मार्च में बंचेस ऑफ पिंक फ्लावर्स आते हैं विच इज ब्यूटिफुल एंड देन दिस इज द डेंड्रोबियम phalaenopsis इसमें बहुत से कलर्स आते हैं fuchsia green purple orange I mean you name it and they have it you can find out from Kerala या Goa या in some places से you can buy these online and these flowers last for about 1.5 months so go in for dendrobiums as many as you can then this is the Cattleya. Cattleyas are called queen of orchids because of the gorgeous flowers. The flowers are very big. They're even more exotic looking than dendrobiums. And even these are very hardy. They have bloomed with me. This is again a picture from my garden. So I have other Cattleyas too that bloomed this year. And so you can go in for Cattleyas as well. देन वांडास ये वांडा वही था जो उर्मिला की हेल्पर विलेज से लाती थी अपने दे आई थिंक दे हैव द बिहू फेस्टिवल वेयर दे adorn their hair with the bihu flowers so this is the orchid and vanda and its relatives vandaceous orchids बहुत अच्छे चल रहे हैं यहाँ पे इनके लीव्स लेदरी होते हैं पर ये हैवी फीडर्स होते हैं इनको ज्यादा फर्टिलाइजर और ज्यादा पानी चाहिए होता है फिर ये हैं टोलमियास ये मिनिएचर ऑर्किड्स हैं इनमें दीज केम टू मी विद स्पाइक्स मेरे पास इनमें फूल नहीं आया फूल जब भी आया बड्स के साथ आए और खिले हैं ये आप ना उगाएं ये थोड़े मुश्किल हैं उगाने और ये बल्बोफिल्म्स हैं ये किसी होटल से मैंने उठाए थे और ये यहाँ पे फूल आए इस बार और ये फिलेनॉप्सिस भी काफी अच्छे चलते हैं यहाँ पे और ये भी आप उगा सकते हैं तो these are cymbidiums, these are cool growers, and that's about it. Uh, that's about it. I think I've come to the end of the session, and these are all the orchids that you can grow.
I think you should respond to the comments. Okay. Yeah, you want to read the comments and then reply to those.
Okay, so do you grow them using seeds? Sunita Rana has asked. I have not grown them from seeds because it is difficult to germinate them here in Delhi. I have seen this happening in Kalimpong. I visited a nursery where they grew them from seeds. So I have not tried it. I have not done it, and I normally get these little saplings from Kalimpong or Kerala. What time of the year it is grown? This is actually you can grow it any time of the year, but the best time of the year is February, March when they are getting new growths. Uh, when that is the time that they get out of dormancy as soon as winters get over, they get out of dormancy, and then they start new growth, and that is the time, I think, best time to grow them. Would
This one may.
From where do you get the plant to pot? You can get these online. I could share a few nursery numbers. I could do it. I could speak to Bhavna about this, and I think that's about it.
Okay.
Hmm. And because I've been getting so many queries about orchids, I've
We
been
can't
receiving
see.
phone calls, and I've been answering so many questions about orchids. So I decided to write a simple book where I have demonstrated how to grow them, and the ones with their names, proper names, how they can be grown here in Delhi, the ones that survived, the ones that didn't. And you can buy my book. It's called Growing Orchids in Delhi. It should be available soon, maybe in 10 days time or so.
January.
Maybe in January you can buy my book, which will uh, help you in growing orchids. Thank you so much.
They're also asking about that.
Uh, anyone you can I can let Bhavna know, or I can in later I can put this a few numbers of nurseries I can put uh, on the group. I can do it in a while. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching.